and welcome to the Drawn by Annie channel. I hope I didn't spook you too much though. So grab your festive drinks, pumpkin spice lattes, hot tea and cocoa, and let's start this video. For a festive mood of Halloween, I decided to draw an art piece which could feature as much Halloween stereotypes as could possibly fit one artwork, and I think this is a very fun challenge for me. And I have an original character just for that would match perfectly the Halloween and creepy vibe. Her name is Mai, and she has been a hero of a few of my original art videos back in the days. So in case she offers you any interest, you can check out other videos on my channel. And for today's artwork, I'm going to use a separate paper, not a sketchbook, and this is a light watercolor paper meant for making cards or any other types of crafts. And it's a nice change because I haven't used these types of paper for a while, as I was mostly using my sketchbook for most of my works. So as a starter, I'm going with my HB pencil and marking out the character silhouette, the position of the eyes on the background, and the text boxes. So it will be acting as a guideline for me to make the text look more or less centered. It's a nice way to plan out the composition of your artwork and for it to be more or less set on the paper, because it's not a digital art where you can move layers here and there. And specifically on a watercolor paper, it's way harder to make mistakes because every time you erase, you are kind of damaging the surface of the paper and it starts to get these annoying fibers that are kind of ruining the paper texture for me, at least. So if I'm using a paper like that, I really like the texture, but I'm trying to plan out carefully my artwork beforehand. So I sketched out the general idea, and it's way easier for me to use it as a guideline and do as little erasing as possible, or use the stretchy eraser, you know, the kind that stretches like plasticine and you can easily deform it, and it's very soft on the paper especially, so this one works fine. And as the process goes on, I dive deeper into smaller details and defining the facial features, the details of the costume and her syringe and the pumpkin, as well as the background eyes and the text letters. Sometimes I tend to overdo it with my pencil sketch, so I decided I would remove the extra strokes so the coloring would look cleaner. And because I'm planning to just do the line art for the most part, I need the rest of the drawing to be as clean as possible, so that's why I'm going to remove the sketch with my soft eraser, also to demonstrate how stretchy it actually is. You can see it's literally like plasticine. So for this artwork, I think I managed to squeeze in like 6 or 7 typical modern Halloween stereotypes. So we have the darkness stereotype, we have the color palette, which consists of very simple black, red and white coloring. We have a nurse costume, we have vampire, we have blood, we have pumpkin carving, and we have creepy eyes all around it. So yeah, that makes it 7. And the artwork looks to be very detailed, but the thing is that the darkness background makes it a little bit less overwhelming, because when I was sketching the thumbnail out, I made a little sketching strokes on places where I wanted to fill in black, and it seemed a little bit overwhelming, but now that I'm starting to color it, I can see that it's going to be fine, so I'm not worrying about that anymore. So I'm just gonna proceed with filling the colors and the line art. And meanwhile, let's chat about the costumes and the fun part of the Halloween. You know, I've never celebrated Halloween in a traditional way ever in my childhood or my teenage, because I come from the culture that is not really into Halloween much. But I think, if I'm not wrong, they have some similar traditions in the pagan roots of the place that I'm coming from. And there was some sort of alternative that kind of looked like Halloween candy hunt, when kids were dressed up and they were knocking on other people's doors and they were singing songs or something, and then people who would open the door, they would offer them some treat. I'm not sure, because I haven't really done that ever in my life myself, so I can only tell you about the rumors that I heard. And we actually never got anyone knocked on our door, so it wasn't too popular in the place where I was studying and living. But after I finished the school and I moved into a high school in another city, I actually volunteered in a youth center and we made a nice Halloween party for the kids. I was already basically a young adult, so I would be allowed to volunteer in places like that. And we made a nice escape room with me being a main actor and to scare the ones that are entering. It was so much fun, honestly. Like, we built a very, very messy room and decorations, and it was in a complete darkness, so people would enter and they would have to find a way to escape, which was basically the key because they were locking the door and the other key was inside the room. And as the only source of light, they were given like a very faulty flashlight that was giving barely any light at all. And the room was filled with garbage that would make noises, and the trick was to make as little noise as possible, because if they did any noise, I would be coming after them as a monster, or like, you know, those escape rooms that have actors that would follow the participants. So yeah, I was one of those kind of like a monster who would follow you around in the darkness. And fun fact, I was also dressed as a nurse, but not the cute one like here in this artwork, but a scary one, like real scary one. If you have played the Silent Hill game series, there was a monster nurse that would wear a mask that would cover the whole head with the bandages. So I took an inspiration from this monster and made a costume that would kind of count as a cosplay, but nonetheless, my face and my head would completely be covered in bandages and there was no way to see for me, and that was kind of the trick for me. So I barely could see myself as well because the room was dark and I'm wearing a mask that is fully covering me as well. So it wasn't easy for me either, but it also made it very fun to play and to follow the participant. I was making those scary noises and oh my god, this the kids screaming was so funny. But don't worry, nobody was traumatized. Everybody told us that it was the best experience in the whole Halloween party because there were several rooms like that, but with different quests, and participants would have to pass all of the trials that we've made for them and collect stamps so they could win the prize, let's say, and also have a lot of fun. So yeah, that's how I got into the Halloween festive for the first time. Before that, I've never experienced anything fun around Halloween, and after that I'm just in love with all of this costume wearing and candy hunt and, you know, making it spooky, scary, fun for kids. And of course the classical spooky, scary skeleton song that starts to play in my head and in my playlist endlessly as soon as I start seeing the first pumpkins in the shops. Spooky, scary skeleton and shivers down your spine. Okay, I'm going to leave you for a while with music on while I work on the rest of the piece. Annie off, music on.
As far as we go through the darkest night, I hope it brings you peace of mind. I know we'll be alright, no matter where you go. Always on my mind. I could be alone, but you're never far from sight. As far as we go through the darkest night, I hope it brings you peace of mind. I know we'll be alright. You can find me alone in this cold place, no face, a slave to this pace inside. If the mystery I solve like a cold case, and power ways, disgrace by a state of mind. Drinking strange water, leave a sour taste. Been looking for my soul in the haze pine. Getting kinda dull to this heartbreak as my heart shakes like the waves in a baseline. The good girl grows too soon. Straight by the light of the moon, and it gets better. Paths also change like the weather. Feel like a song you can't remember. See you in December snow. I know you'll be coming home soon after you'll be gone. And no matter where you go, always on my mind. And I could be alone, but you're never far from sight. As far as we go
The artwork is done, and I thank you very much for joining me in this Halloween special video. Hope you enjoyed the art process as much as the chit-chat story of how I got into Halloween. And by the way, let me know down in the comments, do you also celebrate Halloween and wear costumes? And if so, which is your favorite or the best costume that you wore? Or maybe you also volunteered in making a kids party somewhere like I did. If you want to support this channel, you can hit that like and subscribe button and check out my other social media. This would be the best treat you could offer me on this Halloween. I appreciate all of your support, and I hope I will see you in the next video. Bye bye!